You're never going to get a program that's custom to you.
But you gotta wear their logo,
Right.
and they're not paid.
If you just don't want to pay, just say that you don't want to pay.
Welcome back to Chalk Talk. I'm not going to do much of an intro because we got to get into this. Today we're talking about how MLB has said in a court proceeding that they are not wanting to pay minor leaguers during spring training because minor leaguers are already getting paid in the cost of the training. And I'm just going to throw this one to you first because I know that you're like...
Do you want me to go off for the whole 15 minutes or what are we doing?
We'll keep you to a couple minutes here, but...
So there's a lot to go over really on this, and the fact that they're saying this in the court proceeding and stuff like that, it really just fucking pisses me off. Now for me, like if you just don't want to pay, just say that you don't want to pay. Okay, if you're like, hey, like we don't want to spend the money on these fucking minor leaguers, just say it. Don't come up with some bullshit fucking excuse saying that you're providing the fucking training, because you're not. I've done spring training, 6 of them, and every time I go to spring training, that is work to me. You know, like it's work. You know, like I don't know what else to say. We have a full fucking day. You take a 6:30 a.m. bus. Like back in my, like it was a different schedule, of course, back then. 6:30 a.m. bus. You stay there until 5 p.m. until the game's over. All right. So you go through all your, early work to your rehab work or whatever the fuck else, and your training, your practice throughout the day, right? And then you play a game, and the games are not fucking short. It's a baseball game, right? 3 hours long. And then after, you gotta do your post-recovery stuff as well. And it's just a full fucking day of work. You know, not one time I showed up, I'm like, oh, this isn't work. No, this is absolutely work. Because people think, oh, you play baseball, you get to play baseball for a living. Saying that, hey, you're only there for 2.5 hours, and that's all you gotta do. But when you're playing at the professional level, there's so much that goes into actually playing for 3 hours is not the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about all the early work, to showing up every single day, to training room work or whatever, lifting, everything.
To give the people context, a spring training day, you'll 6:30 bus, you'll get there 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning. You can't get there later.
No.
Because if you get there later, you're judged by people, and it's like it negatively affects your work performance. Even though the game doesn't start till 3 or 1 or whatever,
2, that's what it was,
you need to be there, because if you're not, you have practice at 9. So if you're not getting your stuff in before to warm up, and then you go out and you do your PFPs and all this different stuff, then you have 2 hours on field work when you really don't get a whole lot done.
Right, and you gotta understand, there's 180 players.
Yep.
When you show up, so when you don't show up in time or whatever, you don't get anything done.
Right. So then you're not going to have a job if you don't show up at that time.
Exactly.
So basically, like you can show up at 7. And then you don't get out of there till 5.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm interested in, Rachel, I'm glad you joined us. So they're saying this in a court proceeding that like they're providing training and blah, blah, blah. Do you think that's just like making an argument in the court, or do you think they actually feel that way?
I think, a lot of times they're kind of known for doing this. They throw everything at the wall, especially like in some sort of proceeding or hearing, whether it's court, arbitration. They throw every argument they have at the wall and see what sticks. They don't necessarily believe any of it or all of it, but I think the entire concept of this argument is silly to me, because they're getting a benefit from these players ultimately, and they are profiting off of them.
Right.
And you can't just say that, because they're a maybe lower down employee or, whatever, that you have to work for free, or because we are giving you an opportunity to one day become a higher ranked employee, well, then we don't have to pay you when you're lower down. Like if they are doing work, if you are profiting off of them, they're providing a service, like you have to pay them.
Yeah, especially if it's mandatory to show up like for the date. Now, if spring training was optional, and it wasn't going to negatively impact your ability to play, which we all know it will, because if you don't show up to spring training, you're getting cut.
Right.
But even
there's only one person that can do that is Zach Greinke.
Yeah.
Zach Greinke is the only one that can be like, fuck you, I'm gonna show up late. He's the only person.
To be fair, I don't think most players even know that they don't have to report to
that's
spring
at the
training.
that's at the big league side though, right?
Yeah.
I think minor
league side, you have to.
You got to be there.
I was there for 6 years. I haven't seen one player that didn't show up or showed up late. There's no such thing. No. You show up on the date that they book you the flight. You fucking take that fucking flight and you be here at this time.
Yeah, or you don't have a job.
I've never seen anybody that doesn't show up.
Now, like, you went through a bunch of spring trainings. Do you remember your minor league spring trainings?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think what is kind of getting lost in content is these players are going to spring to better themselves to make it to the big leagues. But in reality, there's a lot of other stuff. Like the players are helping the coaches become better coaches to make it to the big leagues. The players are helping the strength and conditioning guys, the medical guys to climb up the ladder. So how is a coach going to make it to the big leagues without the players? How is a medical guy going to make it to the players?
That's a great point.
So you have your 180 players, and then you're going to have 6 staff members per 6 orgs.
Right.
They're trying to make it to the big leagues too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well,
So-
even your guys that are on the cusp of making the big leagues, like the other players there, the other 180 guys are helping those guys get to the big leagues.
Right. And you go to spring training, and all the players are going to run their resumes about batting average and ERA and home runs, and the coaches are running their resumes about their win-loss record, how many guys went on the DL, how many guys' bat speed was better, how many games played. So without the players, you're actually losing the development of the whole staff.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, you look at, some of these staff members that went through the minor leagues and are now really successful in the big leagues.
Yeah, and on top of that, that is the coach's main job, right?
Yeah.
Is to coach the players. The player's main job is to play the game.
Yeah.
So your players are developing in the off season to develop the skill sets to go play the game.
Yeah.
They're not developing those in spring training.
Yeah.
You show up to spring training now to compete, to hopefully have a job, because you got to be ready to compete from day one to go out there and hopefully make the AA roster or the high A roster or the triple or the big league roster or whatever. You're not developing in spring training. And Tim, I know you have a pretty good understanding of what training programs are in spring training. I'm just going to say it's a joke.
It is.
The training programs in spring training are a joke. Like, you come from an off season. I look at spring training as like a vacation. Like, I'm going to pitch during the season. That's going to be stressful. I'm going to train my ass off in the off season, and I'll go to spring training and have 6 weeks of like relaxation time.
Yeah.
That's at the big league side, where you have all the resources, where you can get in the weight room at whatever time during the day you want, where you can get on the field at whatever time. You can grab a minor league coach to come over and hit you fungos. You can do whatever you want because you're a big leaguer. Like, the minor leaguers don't get that opportunity. They got breakfast is from like 7:30 to 8.
Yeah.
If you're not there, you don't eat.
Right.
If you're in the training room getting something done because you happen to be behind one other person and they went long, you don't eat. If lunch is from 1 to 2 or something like that, or 12 to 1, like, you have scheduled times, you have half an hour in the weight room. You can't get shit done in the weight room in half an hour. Like,
Not
how do you
30
feel
minutes.
about off-season programming that you can get in the private sector versus what players are actually getting for training when they go to spring training?
The first thing that stands out is player to coach ratio. So how many, you got such a 100+ volume of players that are showing up, and then how many strength coaches are there? Maybe five, 6, somewhere in
Six.
there.
You're going to have one strength coach per level. You might have 6 levels. So you'd be lucky to have 6, maybe 8 strength coaches in a spring training for minor league camp. But you got 30 to 35 players per roster in spring training, because a lot of them are going to get cut, some are going to get held back and extended, blah, blah, blah. So you're looking at 8 coaches for 180 players?
Yeah. There's no way. You're never going to get a program that's custom to you. It's going to be literally a cookie cut program. You're going to do a phase for 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to be just general movement that pertains to sport as they see fit. And a lot of the times, the actual program you get is not as a strength coach. If I was like with any of the teams, the strength program that I get is from the guy that's not even there, the head guy, who just tells me that this is what I have to do. And even to my best fit, if I see something that I need to change, I can't change it. So the minor leaguers are not even getting anything close to a custom fit program for them. They're literally just getting what the top guy says. And so, as a minor league strength coach, you might be great. You might be a great coach, but in the end, you fall under the category that you are literally just do as you're told. And so it does a disservice to every player that's in spring training at that time.
Now, I do have to present one counter argument to this. So the organization is paying the coaches, they're paying for the facility, they're paying the chefs and the cleaning and field maintenance and all this. They're paying those people during spring training because they're employees. They got to make the field ready for the players. So they are incurring a cost, but they're not paying the players. So it's like, I can see that argument in we're paying this to provide all these resources for the players so they can come in, they can get their strength and condition, they can get their blah blah blah.
But
so
again, like, for me,
I think that's their argument.
Business.
No, I completely agree. I'm just saying, like, that is
Like,
the strength of their argument here.
I get
and
that.
there's so many holes to poke through.
But again, for me, that makes like, yes, I get where they're coming from, and then still fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's,
So, and for context on that, now I'll give the other side
Right.
of it. You're paying those people year round.
Yep.
Strength and conditioning coaches
Yep.
are paid year round
Yep.
as employees of the company.
Yep.
You don't pay players year round.
No,
pay them
you pay
per
5
game.
months of the fucking year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're going to say, we're going to pay all of our employees this. We're not going to pay you. And we're going to provide all these services, which is what we exist as an organization to do. It'd be like an office building, or like a company that has an office building saying, well, we're providing your chair and your desk for you to do the work,
Right.
but we're not going to pay you to
Like
do
the
the work.
people that this entire company is able to run off of are the players.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They aren't running off of, they aren't
Right.
profiting off of, I mean,
Everyone
hate to
has a
say
job
it, but
because of the players.
Right.
Like-
the
like-
strength
yeah.
and
Like,
conditioning.
like Johnny was saying, like literally everyone has a job and they exist because of the players.
Right.
Now, how are you gonna pay all the other people except the players? How does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. And it's not even the fact like they're not. It's not like minor leaguers are getting paid 100K a year.
Yeah.
They're making fucking pocket change. When I still remember my 2011, my full season. I got stuck in extended spring training. Went through a short season, and I played a month of instructional league. I made $2,700 the entire fucking year. Like, it's a joke. It's a fucking joke.
I had a player I know got a check in spring training.
Yeah.
His paycheck, and after they took out the living expenses
Right.
and stuff, it literally said $0. They cut him a check for accounting purposes. So he got a check that said $0, and he has the check. Like, that's ridiculous.
That's such a Pro Bowl thing to do. It's like, here's everyone's checks. Here's your $0.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
fuck you.
unbelievable. So
And then,
I
for
think-
me, like the biggest argument, like I'm gonna argue, is when they made the comparison, they were comparing in the courtroom. They're comparing minor league spring training to like perfect game showcases and like saying that they're providing all the. They're comparing professional baseball to a motherfucking high school showcase and like a college recruiting camp.
yeah.
Like the thought of those two like being on the same level really pissed me off as a former minor leaguer. That's a disgraceful for all the current minor leaguers and all the past, all the future ones. That's fucked up. Like, no, it's fucking Pro Bowl, motherfucker. Pay these motherfuckers. You know, like that's where I stand.
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting that they won the argument of you're coming to spring, you're wearing our logo,
Right. Yep.
right? You have to wear our uniform. Like, have to.
Right.
Right? What if I had a deal with whatever?
Yeah,
You know, you
no, it doesn't
wanted
matter. Yep.
a whatever across your chest, or even if it was like your Instagram or Twitter across your chest
Yeah.
Nothing.
to make money,
Right.
Right? For branding, but you can't.
No.
Yeah.
But you gotta wear their logo,
Right.
and they're not paying you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they can call you up to go pitch in a big league game
Yep.
at any point where you got to wear their logo, and then they're going to profit off of selling tickets to people in attendance, right? They're still not paying you.
No.
You might get big league meal money for the day to cover, like $80 or whatever, but like they're not paying you for the service that you're doing for them. It's a joke, man.
How about the trading
ridiculous.
card industry right now?
Yeah.
Right? Like these minor leaguers, like that one dude for the Yankees, his card went for like $400,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was A ball for the Yankees. Whatever
Yeah.
that kid's name is. Boy.
Yeah.
Whoa, we're not gonna pay that guy?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Players aren't getting any of that.
No.
Yeah. So you have a situation where you have to be there to have a job. So that's work.
And you work.
and you're there for longer than your normal work day.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like 7 in the morning till 5 at night.
And during
no
spring
one works
training,
that
like you
long.
know,
And
we're there 6 days a week. We get one off day a week, which is a
you
Sunday.
get an off day.
I mean, I thought we did.
We
no?
get one.
Oh,
Maybe
was that
two-
extended? Maybe it was extended. I'm
You're there
talking about.
7 days a week.
Okay.
You get big league spring training. You get 2 off days for in
That's
a
right.
total
Okay. Sorry, that's
6-week
my fault.
span.
Yeah, right.
So you're there every single day, working longer hours than normal. You have to be there in order to have a job. You're promoting the organization.
Yep.
You're getting worse training than you got in the off season.
Absolutely.
And you get paid nothing.
Right. Yeah.
It's just absurd.
Right.
It's absolutely absurd. So, yeah, you have the legal side of it. You have I don't know. It's just absurd. I can't even argue anything past that. I
Yeah.
tried
I don't think
to
this-
give both sides, but
I don't think the system's broke. I'm not trying to like reinvent the wheel, but
Right.
just like pay where they work.
yeah,
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I need to overhaul this whole thing, but
Right.
like they're working, so it's paying.
yeah.
Like not
And-
no,
and also,
like,
like,
just get it
pay-
above zero.
Pay
Right.
them the normal minor league wage. Like the
And-
minor league wage is nothing.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like for me, like I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not saying pay these motherfuckers each of them 100K. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Give them minimum pay. minimum wage. And imagine, Johnny, when you're in the minors, you could have done a lot more, I'm sure, in terms of training.
Sorry, sir, that's all the time we have. If you guys really like the stuff that is on Trevor Bauer with the headband, the shirt, and this hoodie, you guys should go to trevorbauer.com. This video is brought to you by trevorbauer.com. Don't go to King of Juke.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna fucking kill him anymore here.
But that's all the time we have. If you guys really like this stuff, like, subscribe. Yeah, fuck him. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Comment down below. Let us know if you guys want us
I
know,
quit.
like,
This is my last day here, so fuck you guys, alright?
See you guys in the next video.